for listening, you stupid fuck. He looks like one of those guys from Long Island that wants to be a white rapper, but he's 30-something years old, lives in his parents' basement with the droopy cap and the whatever, but he thinks he's Howard Stern, and he's got a cool way of talking in the microphone. And he's a shock jock or whatever, and somehow or another he accumulates followers on Twitter. It's fucking pathetic. So please, nobody listen to anything involving a guy named Joe Cronin, because it's just so fucking sad.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the sick Joe Cronin Show. Let's talk. We're going to talk about the Undertaker, the update on the USO situation, and a couple other things. Real quick, I do want to mention a lot of people asking. Obviously, major problems tonight for Monetize This. So I will be live tonight with Monetize This, but not Monetize This. We did not do Throwdown last night, so we'll be live tonight with Throwdown. It basically will be Monetize This tonight. Probably around 10 p.m. to 11. We'll start. So we're basically still doing a show tonight. As always, going to be a party, going to be fun, hopefully. But I am my kids all had 100-degree temperatures all the last couple days. Leah was sick. They're all starting to get a little bit better, except for my daughter, who still has about 199. But that's, going down. And Justin Bailey had a family death in the family, which is terrible, so he can't be here tonight. Ken wouldn't be able to make it because he's not going to come get sick, He will be here. A lot of these people may be here tonight, just on the phone. So that's the only difference. Tommy NC couldn't be here. Just so much stuff going wrong. I had really planned tonight to be around like beer pong and hanging out and having an epic 200 episode. And with being sick myself, now I've gotten it, and I'm extremely sore and stuff. But fuck that, I'm still doing shit, I think, even if I'm in a coma. I need to. It's very disappointing. I'm very upset. I'm very sad. I'm angry. I'm all pissed off and whatever else. I even spent money on being able to do things tonight, and now it's not happening. So we are pushing it back to next week. Monetize This 200 will happen next Friday. But tonight, we will still be live. For basically Monetize This, except we're not calling it that. So we'll see you tonight for that. But anyway, that's that update for the people wondering and that don't have Twitter, that haven't been able to follow my tweets or my Patreon messages. Even that's got me out of breath, man, but I'm loaded up on drugs, so we'll be all right. So the Undertaker signed a deal to appear at STARCAST 2. Now, again, STARCAST 2 is independent from AEW in a way. It's just like WrestleCon is independent from WWE. WWE superstars go to WrestleCon sometimes. A few of them do. Like Shawn Michaels will be there this year. Ric Flair. But, WrestleCon is separate from WWE. It's much better than WWE's All Access, I think. I mean, I guess if I was a kid, All Access is pretty epic. But if you're a little older fan, you want to just meet the wrestlers and stuff, WrestleCon usually ends up being better. To me, at least in my older years. As a kid, though, I do remember Access was awesome. So you could go both ways on that. I think Access is awesome until you've been to it three different times. Unless there's a superstar that you're just dying to see, like Stone Cold is there and Shawn Michaels, somebody like you really love. Maybe you're a kid and you love Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles or something. Then I guess Access would be your deal. That's fine. The Undertaker signed a significant non-WWE appearance in spring. This is coming from WrestlingInc.com. Mark Middleton writing this on the Wrestling Inc. website. Taker signed a deal to appear at STARCAST 2 Wrestling Convention in Las Vegas Saturday, May 25th. That's funny because that is exactly where the Monetize This Championship is. This is the same date as All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing event. It is interesting. I know people might assume this is an AEW event, but it's not, and that's what they go on to say. And I say the same thing. Very interesting. Undertaker is going to want to appear at the biggest events that he can appear at now that he's open for bookings, according to his Instagram and Twitter account that he created, which is significant. So there you go. But it just makes sense to me. Undertaker not being at WrestleCon, I can sort of understand that because he's actively involved in WWE still. It doesn't mean he's ever going to be in AEW. It just means, he is going to their... To what coincides with AEW, the con, the wrestling event for fans that coincides with AEW's Spectacular. Update on Jimmy USO is WWE's response was only Jonathan Fatu is responsible for his own personal actions. That's what they wrote. They say this is Jimmy's third arrest since signing with the WWE. He was also arrested in March on DUI. A lot of people were messaging me during that video screaming it's not Jimmy, it was Jey Uso that was arrested. But they were wrong, unless I said Jay by accident. But yeah, it's been Jimmy this whole time. It's always Jimmy. This is Jimmy's third arrest with DUI charges since September 2011. So that is Jimmy's third arrest. So I believe I was correct, unless I'm wrong with something else. Again, you never know. People also thought that I was trying to stick up for him and say, like, oh, they might have profiled him. But I was really just reading a comment where somebody wrote that. You can even hear it in my voice. I read the comment, like, I'm not even profile. It's like, no, I get it. Trinity was driving on the wrong side of the road, probably wasn't familiar with the area. Jimmy was drunk. The cops gave her a hard time about smelling alcohol. And knowing that she wasn't drinking, he got pissed off. And then he was drunk, so he got out of the car because he was inebriated. You know, his fucking primal man brain went up, you know. Then he calmed down, but then he still got arrested because of his threat to the police, I guess. It makes sense to me. I don't think any harm was done by anybody here. You know, the cops did their job by pulling over a car that was going the wrong way. And then when they pulled over the car, it smelled like alcohol in there, probably because Jimmy stunk like alcohol. You know, they figured out that she wasn't drinking, let her go, and he went to jail for the aggressive act. Had he just sat there and, you know, said, like, hey, listen, I've been drinking a lot, and so she's driving me, and then they issued a breathalyzer on both of them or on her, you know, they would have been going on their merry way with no problems. I think one of the things too is, like, sometimes in the past, you know, people get in trouble for something they didn't do. So every time they're pulled over now too, it's like you're like, oh, here we go. They're gonna find some way to screw us tonight. Here we go, you know, and you get pissed. I get it, but she was driving the wrong way, you know, and so that's all that happened. Someone made a mistake, drove the wrong way. I've done it. I've driven the wrong way several times and then been shocked that I'm driving the wrong way and almost killed myself. It's happened to me 3 times at least. Well, maybe just 3 times. 3 times that I can remember driving the wrong way. And most of the times it was the fucking street's fault. It was ridiculous. One time it was my fault. The GPS said take a right, and I was like, all right, take a right. And I went right through the do not enter signs. I was like, oh, that was dumb. Whatever, though. But yeah, Jimmy should have stayed in the car, and he would have been okay. But again, he was drunk, so he wasn't really rational at the time. That's the reason why she was probably driving. So I get that. A big mistake, I think, and just a whole lot of to do about nothing. You know, Taz talked about, this is news, who Dean Ambrose should be beaten by on his way out the door. I mean, I really believe that you got to put these younger guys over. You know, it'd be nice if maybe, you know, EC3 or somebody like that could get the, you know, he's going to win this best of 3 hopefully with him. Or, you know, if you'd brought a guy up like Velveteen Dream, I would have pushed Dean a little bit. And then at the very end, you know, Velveteen Dream squares up against Dean Ambrose in a big victory. Velveteen Dream defeats, you know, Dean Ambrose. And they could really roll with it after that, you know. They could really go with it. There could be a lot of shit that they do there. And that's something that could be fun. But be that as it may, that's well, Billy Gunn predicts that AEW era will be just as exciting as the Attitude Era. I obviously can't get on board with that. I love his excitement, and I hope it is. For my sake and for all of us wrestling fans' sake, even though the last time people talked about this being Attitude, like Cody Rhodes said, that's all shock factor that I didn't like, and shock factor's out the window. So these guys contradict themselves left and right. It's so weird, but anyway, whatever. And I guess it could be as exciting as the Attitude Era in a different way. So that still could be valid. I could just be over, you know, I could be assigning blame to that in a misconceived way. I can't speak right now because I'm sick. And also I probably couldn't speak anyway because I'm a moron. But Billy Gunn, I hope you do well, man. Billy Gunn fired by WWE for all that stuff and crap and whatever. He could have really helped them out over there. I was always surprised that WWE didn't bring Billy Gunn back like 3 months later or 6 months later, something like that. They just left him. and now at least he's got something to do, somewhere to hone his craft a little bit better. Similar to Road Dogg's way of things. Road Dogg kind of did this with Impact and a few other places, before eventually coming back to WWE. I don't know if Billy Gunn will. And I know that I feel like I don't know. I feel like Billy Gunn's maybe a little less diplomatic than Road Dogg is. I don't think Billy Gunn's found God, the way Road Dogg has. So I don't know if Billy Gunn would assimilate in the same way, because Billy Gunn kind of still blazes in his own trail. So that's good news there. You kind of got that in him in AEW, which is very interesting. You got a guy that's very capable of doing a lot of things over there, and so that is certainly unprecedented and going to be very fun to watch how they do this going forward, and what happens with the TV deal and how they're going to keep this. It's because Brian Road Dogg always talked better than I did, Gunn said. This is them talking about Billy Gunn in the Attitude Era. I was always the guy who did the action stuff. He's good at what he's good at, and I'm good at what I'm good at. I'm good at being physical and beating people up, and he's good at talking his way out of it. Road Dogg is a similar person. Road Dogg is in a similar position as Gunn, as he is the head writer of SmackDown Live. Gunn discussed how it's cool that he and his former partner ended up in similar positions in the wrestling industry. I'd like to say that he's in a little bit higher position than I am because he's running a whole division. But it's cool how our paths cross similarly, but in different companies, stated Gunn. Whether as a performer, an agent, or a trainer, Gunn has been in the wrestling business for over 30 years. That's true. AEW is going to put just as much focus on the tag division as they do the singles. I think tag is a lost art, and the Young Bucks are good at what they do. Tags are really exciting, and they haven't gotten a chance to shine until me and Brian were able to come up in the WWE. And yeah, this is very exciting stuff, I think, for him. That's it as far as the wrestling news goes. But as far as tonight goes, with Monetize This tonight, or Throwdown tonight, and then Monetize This 200 taking place next week, I do want to say, if anybody has any cool ideas for tonight's show, let me know. I've still got the beer pong table. Me and Leah could duel each other in beer pong still tonight. That still could happen tonight. It could be a fun night. We'll see how sick I am. But I plan on being here with you guys tonight. And Justin Bailey may stop by. Ken will be here. Troy may be here tonight. And everybody may be showing up at some point. So it will be a good night tonight, some fun. Maybe we'll put some kind of stipulation on the line for next week's Monetize This episode 200. A long build to episode 200, but it's going to be worth it. So it's better to do it when I'm fully, not sick and when everybody's here. Because otherwise we would have been doing the show to start tonight with, 3 or 4 of us. This will be so much better. And we'll find out where we stand next week. So that way I know if Troy and Ken can't come over the house, at least I know so I can plan something different for next week. But tonight we will be live at about 10 or 11 p.m., somewhere in between there, with Monetize This, the Lost episode. It would be the third time we did a Lost episode, or a Throwdown. I haven't decided how I'm going to name it, but stay tuned for that. That'll be fun. Get your pizza ordered, get your chicken wings, and grab a hooker from down the street, because tonight will be fun. That was messed up. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, leave a comment down below. What did you guys think about everything I talked about here in this video? Feel free to leave a like, share the videos, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, because you don't want to miss out on my daily wrestling news, videos, and all the stuff that I'm going to talk about in the future here as far as wrestling goes. And make sure to follow me on Twitter at CorruptedPod, and of course patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Think about supporting us there, because when you do, you also get 30 hours of bonus content. I apologize for the lack of content this week, as everybody's been sick. Didn't know if I had to take my kids to the hospital, and what's been going on, taking care of them, Leah, now them taking care of me. And I appreciate you guys understanding all that stuff. And I'm just really, I'm very upset, and I'm just depressed about the whole thing, to be honest. To be real, I'm just not happy right now. I'm very, very upset that this worked out this way. Even though it's no big deal. We do it next week, and tonight we do a different show. And it's just really, really, I don't know, bothersome to me. But that being said, I hope it's a good one. We'll see you tonight, unless I get really bad or something. I would have to get, probably 2 times sicker than I am now to not do a show tonight. So I'm going to assume that I'm going to start getting better from here on out. But that's my That's what I hope. That's what I think. And he's fucking dead.
He's fucking dead!
See you tonight. Take it away, Jim.
Joe, if you're listening, you stupid fuck. He looks like one of those guys that from Long Island that wants to be a white rapper, but he's 30-something years old, lives in his parents' basement with the droopy cap. And
from Boston, and I just bought a house, Jim, you four-eyed.
And he's got a cool way of talking in the microphone. And he's a shock jock or whatever, and somehow or another he accumulates followers on Twitter. It's fucking pathetic. So please, nobody listen to anything involving a guy named Joe Cronin, because it's just so fucking sad.
Here's some videos you guys might have missed. Check them out. And if you want to visit my Patreon to support the show, it's on the top right. We'll see you tonight.